trying to kill me or just cook me?
Hello, 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 everyone. How are you all? Hopefully you're doing well.
The lad did it.
It's over.
Yeah.
How did I...
Okay.
Where did I...
Yeah, it seems to be working. Despite the red light. Okay.
Color me surprised. Who would have thought a mere child could control the night? This puts a kink in our plans.
See if we can't close a few things and get... a little bit better performance. Didn't really get a whole lot better performance, but... I don't know. I'm hoping for better. Okay, more donut we go. More donuts. Always need more donuts. You never go wrong with more donuts. Now I want donuts. Enter the Rising Stone. Yes? Yes. We shall. We shall do the thing. Hopefully you're all having a good day, though. Menphilia appears eager to welcome you back to Revenant's Toll. But let's switch over to a class that needs some experience. Greetings, Alphino tells me all is in place to begin his trial company. The Science will certainly be grateful to have the support of such an organization. The inaugural ceremony is set to take place here at the Rising Stones. Taru is cooperating with Alphino to see that all is in readiness, so I'm afraid the recruits themselves have been left to their own devices for the time being. Quite a number of new faces have arrived in Remnants 12 late, and I wonder if Slathborn might not find himself overwhelmed. Would you speak with him and see if there's aught he requires? Yeah, I guess so. What can I do for you? Thought you'd have your hands full helping out with this new arm of the Scions. Well, I mean, we do, but... I barely noticed your recruits arrive. It was barely a trickle compared to the flow of treasure hunters we have passed through here every day. Well, I appreciate your offer of aid. It is more your burden that concerns me. I'm told this travel company will answer directly to the antecedent, so I trust that means less work for you in the long run. The shipment, we couldn't. God's woman, what befell? We were bringing a shipment to Remnant's Soul provisions earmarked for the frontier effort, but just as we sought to cross over into Mardona, we were set upon by brigands. I believe they may have been heretics. There are many, too many. We only escaped with our lives by abandoning the supplies. Pray, forgive us. There is naught to forgive. Provisions can be replaced, but smart soldiers are hard to find. Take your rest, and I'll have someone along to tend to those wounds. What to do? If heretics are involved, then this is like to be more than a case of simple thievery. Ishgard will need to be informed. Whence did these supplies originate? House Hortense, we collect the provisions from Camp Dragonhead proper. Understood. I shall see that they are apprised of this development. Were you not on good terms with the Knights of House Hortense? I'll be sending them a missive immediately, of course, but I would also have you travel there and offer your considerable talents. Yes, I realize I contradict my earlier hopes to lighten your load, but I need someone who can help bring this incident's satisfactory conclusion. Our favorable relations with Ishgard are far too important to risk half measures. As you wish. Will do. Thank you for your understanding. I am certain Lord Houchfront will be glad of your assistance. Well, if it isn't my fine friend, would you care for a plate of roast caracal, some mulled wine? No, I see you have not come into my home merely to escape the biting cold. I was in fact on the verge of opening an urgent missive from Remnant's Soul, and I suspect the timing of your arrival is no coincidence. Nope, not at all. Waits confirmation of the reason for your visit to Camp Dragonhead.
The incident with the new frontier hands? No, you need not elaborate. I have been following their progress with no small amount of interest. Brave men and women all. They do our nation a great service. The existence of a fortified outpost in Mardona will do much to dissuade the Empire from trespassing on Kurthus soil. Right glad am I that you have chosen to lend your support to this endeavor. Never let it be said that House Fortom does not acknowledge the efforts of her allies, or her debts. 'twas in the spirit of gratitude that I arranged for sundry supplies to be delivered to Revenant's Toll. That the shipment should chance to be waylaid by heretics is poor fortune indeed.
Just a moment here. Forgot to do something. Well, crap. Well, I broke that, apparently.
Poor fortune, I say, yet not without precedent. This new unity of purpose we attribute to their leader, the Lady Iceheart. But though I have devoted significant resources to the task of identifying this woman, we have yet to learn so much as her birth name. What we do know is that the heretics speak of Iceheart in reverent tones, and would gladly embrace death rather than betray her. Such loyalty is rare indeed, and I fear to imagine what so committed a collective might achieve.
We'll try this again, actually. There we go, there we
Brigands
go,
have
there we
not
go.
yet been so brazen as to risk direct confrontation here in Dragonhead. Some few of their number have, however, been sighted not far to the west of here, and with ever-increasing regularity. A visit to Whitebrim Front may bring you the answers you seek. Will you brave the snows, knowing what implacable foes may lie in wait? Halone's blessings be upon you. Though I take no pride in the admission, many of mine own countrymen are not so well suited as you adventurers to dealing with such foes. Were they dragons, it might be otherwise. But truly, I could not wish for a finer ally. You have done much for my house in the past, and I have no doubt but that I shall have cause to celebrate your deeds again ere long. Should you learn aught of value, pray return to me forthwith. A warm hearth and a warmer welcome shall be waiting for you.
Whitebrim Front, here we go. Sorry, I wanted to get Stream Raiders up and running. I forgot to do that, and then it decided to wanted to have problems. They have now been fixed, but yeah. Up we must go, so up we shall. Sir Odd, you would ask me, pray speak plainly. I'm a man of action and need no honeyed words. On the trail of a band of thieving heretics, you say, by the fury, but you do seem destined to cross paths with those villains. I must confess, then, 'tis the sad truth that the wilds hereabouts have indeed grown thick with their number. They strike swiftly without warning and are canny enough to evade our most able trackers. But it is not merely their newfound organization that confounds us. The heretics themselves seem somehow changed. I know not what manner of influence this ice-heart yields, but the men we face seem utterly lost in the grip of righteous fervor. 'Tis an unsettling and unnatural zeal. Mayhap you would care to question one of their recent victims, as fate would have it, your arrival came moments after a trader was waylaid on the road. A patrol found the unfortunate fellow lying senseless in the snow and carried him to our infirmary. Assuming he has regained the use of his faculties, the merchant might recall some small detail that could aid you in your task. So he's actually above me, it's just not properly marking that he's above me. Tell you what happened. Yes, of course, I'm quite recovered enough for that. Anything to help catch those cowardly blackhearts. I was traveling my usual route to White Brim Front when a sudden blow sent me reeling. Next thing I knew, I was on the ground and several heretics were rifling through my cargo. Arms, armor, crystals, they were taking everything. 'Twas then that one of them noticed my bleary gaze and stalked over to better acquaint my head with his mace. Before darkness claimed me, however, I distinctly heard the words, "Return to Snowcloak." I dare say that is where they were hauling my goods, but you will not catch me rushing off in pursuit. They tell me 'twas a miracle I survived at all, and I'll not trust my thick skull to save me a second time. Draw your rough and foul. Wait, I recognize you. You are come-seeking heretics? No, we share a common purpose. We were on patrol when we chanced across one of the raiding parties and pursued them here. By rights, we should have them cornered in this ravine, yet they are gone, vanished like icy wraiths. Glimpse of Wontov could be herself come to sneer at our folly, and where did she disappear? The heretics must have discovered a passage to the frozen wall. Some hidden tunnel that escaped our notice. We have not the men to risk further investigation. It would be best where we return to Wagbrim front and lair suspicions before Lord Drillmont. Appears I owe you my thanks once again. The surviving knights spared no detail in their report. The men you found out near Snowcloak were some of my finest. That they should be bested so handily, I fear I have willfully underestimated the threat these heretics pose. While I understand you might balk at the notion, I must ask that you put aside your mission and consider the stolen provisions. Lost to us for now, it would be ill-advised to blunder unprepared into what may well be the very lair of our enemy. Pray return to Dragonhead and inform Lord Houchfront of your discoveries. He will wish to plan contingencies of his own. As for Iceheart and her fanatics, the freezing heights of Snowcloak will not shield them from our justice for long.
Your return is most timely. Of their own accord, my thoughts had turned to your task and the progress thereof. I confess, my imaginings tended toward the grim and bloody.
There we go.
But you are here now, and I suspect such frivolous wonderings do little justice to the reality of your travails. Tell me, what did you learn of Iceheart? Indeed, and this transpired at Snowcloak? Of all the highlands, that towering wall has borne the worst of the region's brutal shift in climate. So inhospitable has Snowcloak become that we have still to survey the area in its entirety. Could its frozen heights conceal the heretics' hideaway? Mayhap a more robust reconnaissance effort is in order. Putting such considerations aside for the moment, we still know far too little of this Iceheart. That she is capable of commanding such a band of fanatics bespeaks natural authority, and no small measure of charisma. As much as I would like to fathom this mystery with you, the situation has grown beyond my personal purview. I am bound by duty to inform the Temple Knights and request that they bring this matter to its conclusion. Giving the glowing reports the new commander has garnered thus far, I am certain that they can be relied upon to take appropriate action. Though Iceheart's true identity yet eludes us, you have provided us with a point from which to begin. Sometimes it takes but a single stone to prompt an avalanche. On the matter of the stolen provisions, I have already made arrangements for a second shipment to be sent to Revenant's Toll. I could not well allow such an honorable venture to be undermined by one miserable setback.
Gotta report back to Slathborn. Okay. Whee! Full circle in the wrong way. It's good to see you return to the Toll. How fared you in the frozen waste of Querithus? Is to send us a second shipment? I must send thanks to Lord Hotfront for his continued generosity. Yet even as our town grows in prosperity, I fear it will attract ever greater numbers of those who would do us harm in the name of greed or power. All of us, Alphinaud's new recruits included, must remain vigilant against such threats. Brave new companions. Has news on the progress of the inaugural ceremony. While you are away in Querithus, preparations for the inaugural ceremony were all but completed, although Totoro does yet seem somewhat flustered. I've taken enough of your time. Why don't you head into the Rising Stones and see if your frantic receptionist could do with a hand? These parts need to be sorted, and these documents, why are they even here? Oh, I am sorely tempted to file that lot in my waste paper basket. You startle me. You wish to lend a hand? Splendid. Would you be dear and hand those uniforms to the new recruits? They're scattered about Revenant's Toll, and I haven't the time to track them all down. The recruits know to don their garb immediately and assemble here in the Rising Stone. You'll want to report directly back to Alphinaud if you don't wish to miss the ceremony. I wonder if Science will ever have matching uniforms. A well-funded organization is a well-dressed organization, I suppose. Those who believe this company will see no riches are short-sighted fools. The giving of oneself is an investment in the future. Thus did I sign my name to the cause. Well, here, go put on your uniform. Get to work. I thought it best to mimic my fellows here, but I meant that I have no idea what we're supposed to be doing. Ah, our new uniforms are reminded of my induction into the Wood Whalers. Sildor has at last retired from the adventurer's life, though I shall miss his wisdom and irrepressible spirit. I am excited to forge my own path forwards. Ah, yes, the uniform, thank you. The truth be told, the thought of pledging myself to such a lofty organization is somewhat intimidating. Oh, there, last looking for me, was ya? I'd just given a whistle, but I'm not sure I'd hear it amongst all the bustle. Oh, proper uniforms and all. This thing will cut off the blood to my head. Not to worry though. I'm sure she'll be fine after making a few adjustments. I missed my jump. Little amigo can learn from Revenant's told that this town can be so alive in the midst of such desolation. I've never worn an object quite so voluminous. Well, I'm sure I'll grow accustomed to that extra cloth in time. Gods, I didn't expect to meet you strolling about town. The tales of your primal battles were what inspired me to come to Revenant's Toll. It is an honor to receive this uniform from your hands. I shall wear it with pride. This scarlet garb makes me as proud a member of the Maelstrom and a hardy defender of Limps and Lamency, yet in truth, I stand for the betterment of the realm and thought this new company a fine opportunity to contribute on a grander scale. Now that it's a striking shade of blue put alongside my Maelstrom, my wardrobe will certainly not lack for color. I don't believe we've met. I'm ill-burdened, and I will have the honor of leading my fellow recruits as captain. Much did I lose to Calamity, and I look forward to aiding others in rebuilding their lives. Here's your uniform. Go do your thing. Uniforms are a shrewd decision. There is no easier method for creating a common bond among what is essentially a band of strangers. Yes, Touchroom mentioned you were handing out the new uniforms. I assume you've now met the rest of the recruits. Some few answer the call to arms I put forth through the established grand companies and such. We are not yet an army, but there is much a small corps of elite warriors can achieve. Did I mention I thought of a name for the company? 'Tis my hope that it shall be known across the breadth of Eorzea. The moment truth draws near. Once the last recruits have gathered, I shall make the official announcement.
Comrades, your presence here this day signifies the momentous choice that each of you has made. With your strength now pledged to the scions of the Seventh Dawn, you are beholden to no single nation. You stand as the vanguard for a united Eorzea. From this moment forth, I declare you Crystal Braves. Let us mend this fractured realm and face our enemies as one. Whether it be the Beastmen and their primals, or the conflict in Carteneau, It is plain that the nations of Eorzea cannot solve the problems which plague the realm. Thus does it fall to some few heroic souls to succeed where they have failed. Come, take your place at the Scion's side as guardians of Eorzea, and together we shall fight for the freedom of all! For the freedom of all!
A rousing speech, Alphino. Or should I say, Crystal Brave Commander Leveilleur?
Please, Antecedent. The title is honorary. I shall not be leading the troops into battle, as it were. We are of the same purpose. Let us join hands and do what must be done to save this land.
The Scions stand ready. I'm eager to see what the Crystal Braves might accomplish. This shall prove an interesting time indeed for the Scions.
Is that so?
Yes, I'm listening. So our worst fears are confirmed. The entire Isle. Such power defies comprehension. Truly? Kryl is alive? Thank the 12. I see. Pray, inform me if her condition changes. Yes, I shall pass on your words to Urianger. My thanks. I shall contact you anon. When I learned of the loss of the Isle of Val, I dared not hope that my friend had survived. Yet, by some miracle, it would seem she has. She's still to regain consciousness, it is true, but better that than death. Putting this happy news to one side, we must now endeavor to make sense of the readings taken by the survey party. It appears the etheric disturbance which accompanied the Isle's destruction is of a magnitude alarmingly close to that of Ultima. I wonder, have you heard aught from the Mother Crystal since the battle with the Garleans? Then she speaks to neither one of us. Heidelind's silence portends naught but ill, I fear. Louisoix, I pray you yet watch over us.
That don't sound good. Don't sound good at all. Not good. That is very not good indeed. Would have you assist Alphino in his new station as commander of the Crystal Braves. Try as I might, I cannot shake a creeping sense of dark foreboding, but it avails us not to fret about the unknown. We must concentrate instead on the problems of the present. The primals have been relatively quiet of late, and the peace tribes who summon them are under constant surveillance by the grand companies. Should any suspicious activity be afoot, you may be certain that we will hear of it. Until such time as a permanent solution to the primal problem has been found, we can little but wait and observe. As for the Asians, Orange is wholly dedicated to finding the means by which we may defeat the dark beings. Let us pray for good tidings on that front. But all this you knew already. Let us speak then of more current matters, in particular the state of the Crystal Braves. Alphino did well to found the organization, but ensuring its smooth operation is another matter entirely. Though I doubt that he is doing his best, I felt that a helping hand or two would not go astray. To this end, I offered to send one of the Archons to assist him, but he declined. You know how he can be. Independent to a fault and singularly loath to accept help. Save, of course, when that help comes from you. Alphino has entrusted countless matters of import to your care in the past, and I believe he would not hesitate to do so again were you to offer. I should be most grateful if you would go to him and support him in whatever manner you are able. Did I miss something here? I think I missed something. What is it? And do be concise, I am rather busy. Oh, you would lend a hand, you say? I see. Well, now that you mention it, there is a matter that wants for attention. Given its sensitive nature, I was hesitant to entrust it to my braves, but the demands upon my time are such that I had little choice. Which is not to say that my men went for labor. Though we are but newly formed, there is already a great demand for our services, and we are hard-pressed to answer all petitions, but I digress. The fact is, I would sooner attend to this particular matter myself, but my presence is required elsewhere. That being the case, I have entrusted its resolution to my second-in-command, Captain Elbert. Tell him that I sent you, and he will furnish you with particulars. My thanks in advance.
Hail to you, Scion. How might we serve you? Commander Leveilleur bade you serve us? These are welcome tidings indeed. Given the sensitive nature of the task, I could not rely on one of my own. That which I'm about to tell you, I tell you in the strictest confidence. Some days ago, we received certain documents from an anonymous source. They notified us of the presence of a Garlean agent within the ranks of one of the Grand Companies. Following some discreet inquiries, we identified a suspect among the Immortal Flames, whom we detained for questioning. Alas, the man was not our agent. He was but one of many men in the agent's employ. We pressed the traitor for a name, but he had none to give. He claims never to have met his master, whom he knows only as the Ivy.
An odd name.
He was, however,
An odd code
certain
name.
that this ivy had coiled itself around every part of the Immortal Flames. It would seem our quarry joined the company some time ago, and gradually recruited others to his cause. These conspirators are the vines by which he learns our secrets, all without exposing himself. It won't be easy to identify the ivy amidst this tangled mass of subterfuge, but we have a tendril in our hands, and we shall follow it all the way to the gnarled root. Now, much as I would prefer to proceed with due discretion, circumstances demand that this matter be settled post-haste. Garlemald's War of Succession nears its end, and it is feared that the Empire will soon resume its march on Eorzea. When it does, we can ill afford to have traitors in our midst. The ivy must be rooted out now. We must begin by apprising General Roban of our findings. I would ask that you accompany me to the Hall of Flames and remain on hand to see that things go smoothly. Assuming the ivy's tendrils are as widespread as we believe, he will be aware that an investigation is underway, and if that is the case, he may well move against us. We must be prepared for anything, while taking care not to betray our purposes by seeming prepared. A simple enough task for a one-woman army like you.
Okay. I have to go see Raban. That's how I wanted. That is.
Well, well. What brings you here, my friend?
She is here at my behest. Greetings, Roban. It has been a while.
Hilbert, you old scoundrel. When they told me you'd be visiting, I scarce believed my ears. But look at you, the honored captain of the Crystal Bloody Braves. Who'd have...
Not many, but fewer still would have imagined your destiny lay in politics, old friend.
Aye, we've both come far, have we not? Lest you wonder, Hilbert and I go back a long way. We've been friends and rivals since we were lads. The last time we saw each other, Alamigo had just fallen, so you can guess how many summers it's been. And in all that time, not a word from the fool.
Ah, well, my dealings tended toward the modest and mundane, unlike some I could mention. As I hear it, no sooner did you reach Thanalan than the brass blades clapped you in irons and dragged you off to die on the blood sands. Being a stubborn sort, you won 1,000 matches and earned yourself a place in the people's hearts while you were about it. Then, with your mountain of prize money, you bought the Colosseum and secured a seat on the Syndicate. Those balls, brother! Rags to riches does not do it justice. You're a hero to the common man.
Pah! Spare me. I am no hero. If anyone is worthy of that title, it's our friend here. Next to her, I'm little more than a glorified butcher. But you, Wilbert, you sell yourself short. By all accounts, you are an adventurer of some standing.
I like to think that I did my part for the greater good. But if you're no hero, then I'm no adventurer, not in this company. Anyway. I have tidings.
So there has been progress. I've let it be known that this meeting is a reunion between old friends. None will give your visit a second thought. To convene elsewhere would only attract attention. Let us speak here, in plain view of all. So it is we who have been compromised. Teleji Adeleji's machinations have shaken Ul'dah to her foundations. In such uncertain times, a man's loyalty may be bought for a fistful of gil. But if this snake has truly been in our midst for as long as you say, we must needs consider a far graver possibility. Conspiracy. Could it be that the Monetarists have been in league with the Empire from the first? Very well. I will have my most trusted men investigate the matter. Continue your inquiries in the meantime. It does me well to see you again, old friend. When next we meet, let it be over a flagon of ale.
I look forward to it. Let us reminisce of bygone days and drink to the future of our homeland. Flame General. You wear the mantle well, old friend. I must work hard if I'm to keep up. Well, it would seem your services were not required after all. I dare say we have Roban's prudence to thank for that. Still, I was glad of your presence. My thanks, scion.
Sure you were. Sure you were. I really, absolutely, 100% believe that. Ilbert is eager to continue his investigation of the Garlean spy known as the Ivy. Our hunt for the Ivy begins in earnest, Scion. Suffice to say, we must tread warily, but one misstep may well cost us our lives. Our business here is concluded for the time being. Let us return to the Rising Stones and report to the Commander Lavallee. Okay, we can do that. We can do that. Oh wow, they did a Ruby Justice League crossover. We returned from Oda, Commander. And not a moment too soon, something has happened. Trouble? You recall that the Fourth was tasked with reconnoitering the rendezvous site used by the Ivy's minions and its Imperial contacts. Soon after you left, we received word that the unit was ambushed en route to its destination. Gods damn it. According to the report, one of ours has been taken captive. The Garleans are not wont to treat their foemen with dignity. I have great fears for her safety. We must dispatch a rescue party at once. Recall those braves who are afield. Begging your pardons, Commander, but we have not the time. I'm afraid I must ask for your aid once more, Scion. An ill-prepared rescue party will only serve to provide the Garleans with more captives. Yet time is of the essence. Simply put, you are the best chance we have. Captain Ilbred has the right of it. I trust you are willing, but of course you are now. Now Elaine of the Fourth lies in wait in the tango near the entrance to Castrum Sentry. Seek her out, she will apprise you of the situation. Okay, here we go. You would aid us in the rescue mission? We are in your debt, Warrior of Light. Now time is against us, so allow me to brief you on the situation. The Garleans fell upon us without warning, wounding poor Raish and hauling her away to the castrum yonder. Outnumbered as we were, it was all we could do to flee and regroup. Even this week, the Garleans may be interrogating Raish, or worse, with her hurts, I fear she will not long survive their attentions. We must rescue her without delay. Order may yet be in its infancy, but the bond that binds us is strong, and as Mithril, none of us will stand by while a comrade suffers. We, the remnants of the Fourth, will infiltrate the castle century. Please help us find Resh before it is too late. Aiding. There we go. Where am I? Thank the gods we found you. And thank you, Warrior of Light. Now to quit this accursed place. Cannot move with those wounds. She will need to be carried out. I believe a diversion is in order. Might we trouble you to provide one? Given your reputation, I suspect the grounds will be only too happy to grant you their undivided attention. If you were to create a commotion within the cast room, we'd be able to steal away unnoticed. Let us speak again once we are safely outside these walls. Yeah, we can create diversion. That shouldn't be too difficult a task, I wouldn't think. What else you guys got for me? Really? We're gonna get involved in this again? That was a mistake. I have waited your return most anxiously, my friend. You have done us a great service indeed. Thanks to your aid, our common wretch is safe and we suffer no further casualties. Words cannot well express my gratitude. All that is left is to report the mission's success to Commander Lavallee. I shall go on ahead to the Rising Stones. See if I'm at the right height and angle to just go straight through the door. I am not at the right height, so we'll go up a little bit. Nor was I at the right angle. So I failed. I failed that. At least least in my eyes, I did. Ah, it does me well to see you thus returned, though I doubt not your prowess. Entering an enemy stronghold is generally considered to be a risky venture, and I must confess to having been a trifle anxious. But here you are, hale and whole, having succeeded in your mission as is your wont. Lest you wonder, the woman you rescued is being cared for by the Domans. Thanks to their expert administrations of dangers past, you have my gratitude, Illusion. Allow me to thank you also, Scion. Resh owes you her life. We escaped with minimal casualties this time, but we can ill afford to be caught off guard again. The Empire is not an opponent to be trifled with. As you say, Commander, I will see to it that the men keep their wits about them. And it may yet take time, but I will not rest until we have identified and apprehended the Ivy. I have every confidence that you will succeed, Captain. As for you, Illusion, I realize you have scarce caught your breath, but I'm afraid there is no rest for the weary. I require that you accompany me to Coerthus. I have been granted an audience with the Ishgarian dignitary, you see, and that the man expressly requested your presence. Oh, do not look so surprised. You should be familiar with the trappings of fame by now. We shall part as soon as you are ready. An influential Ishgardian wishes to meet the Warrior of Light, and Alphinaud would like nothing more than to oblige him. We have been blessed with a rare opportunity, Illusion, an audience with an ambassador of the Holy See of Ishgard. We are to treat with Sir Imeric, Lord Commander of the Temple Knights, and Camp Dragonhead. It is considered a great honor to serve the Holy See directly as the Temple Knight. Needless to say, their leader yields tremendous political influence. We would be wise to court his favor. For that reason, I consider your attendance essential. If Sir Imeric wishes to meet the woman behind the legend, I would not deny him the pleasure of your company. The antecedent should see the wisdom of this plan when you request her permission to accompany me to Coerthus. Mayhap you feel this to be a waste of your talents, which could doubtless be put to nobler use. If so, I should remind you that more good can be accomplished with the stroke of a pen than the thrust of a sword. A meeting with an Ishgardian ambassador? By all means, I think it a wonderful idea. We have received no reports of etheric disturbances or unusual beast tribe activity of late. If Alphinaud believes your presence may help him to secure more favorable terms, I see no reason to deny them. And to see it, I take it Illusion has explained the situation. She has, yet welcome though these overtures are, I cannot help but wonder what prompted them. The Ishgardians have spurned all contact with the other city-states for decades. Why reach out now? Would that I knew. The question of their motive is one to which I have given no small amount of thought. Alas, I know no more than is generally known. The notoriously reclusive nation of Ishgard, situated at the center of Abelathia's spine, ruled by the Ishgardian Orthodox Church, at the head of which presides the Archbishop. Members of the original Luorzian alliance formed in the wake of Alamigo's fall some 2 decades ago. Friends of convenience who withdrew from the alliance as soon as the Imperial fleet was routed at the Battle of Silver Tear Skies. Since which time their borders have remained closed to all outsiders. They rejected every one of their former allies' calls to reopen dialogue, turning a deaf ear to their neighbors' pleas, even when the calamity loomed large. And on the fields of Carcano, where brave men and women laid down their lives in defense of the realm, their banners were conspicuously absent. I have tried to convince Ishgard to rejoin the Alliance at every opportunity. I have explained over and over again that unless Eorzea stands united, we cannot hope to preserve our freedom. One by one, our nations will fall as once fell Alamigo. And what have mine efforts yielded? Why not? Surely this can be considered a step in the right direction. I should hope so, rather than the lowly messengers we have been fobbed off with in the past. This time we shall meet with a man of genuine influence. Of course, I am not so naive as to think that they come to us out of the goodness of their hearts. We have something they desire, though I have yet to find out what. But such is the nature of diplomacy. They will bring their agenda to the negotiating table, and so will I, along with a handful of incontrovertible truths. The Empire will soon be at our doorstep once more. Indeed, you may well be assured that I will expound upon this point and others. Let us depart for Camp Dragonhead. Our old friend Lord Hodgefront is expecting us. Since our quest to recover the Enterprise, I understand you have further ingratiated yourself with the man. Excellent work. His fondness may prove useful to our cause. Oh wait, why am I doing that? I can just teleport. Teleporting would be the smarter idea, don't you think? At least I think so. Ah, ever a welcome sight. Our hearths have been stoked to blazing in preparation for your arrival. It would not do for such a distinguished personage to catch cold whilst enjoying our hospitality. The gesture is much appreciated. I fear I shall ever struggle in cold climes. Ah, good Master Alphonse, an honor as always. Likewise, Lord Childfront, forgive us yet another imposition. I fear we have relied overmuch on your aid since you so generously assisted us in locating the Enterprise. Nonsense, any debts incurred have long since been repaid. Besides, who can say what the future may bring? House Fortums may even seek the aid of your newly formed crystal. Braves. In any case, I am simply delighted that the Holy See is at last willing to grant you an audience. No doubt your discoveries of Snowcloak helped to justify the decision. This recent resurgence in heretical activity is of great concern to us all. But to the matter at hand, Sir Imeric arrived in Camp Dragonhead earlier, and I'm told he is eager to meet with you at your first convenience. You are doubtless weary from your journey and desirous to rest a while by the warmth of our hearth. But if you're willing to forgo such comforts, pray inform the knight stationed outside the intercessory. He will grant you entrance and send you word to the other attendees. As inviting as your hearth sounds, I think it's best we proceed to the intercessory forthwith. Okay. Forgot to turn sound back on. Okay, let's open up the cabin chest here. Grant rewards. Oh, I gotta change that first. Got it. Okay, we'll have to fix that. Let's see. Or actually, if I go across the top here, I can get, looks like 2 blue chests. From the looks of it, at least. Okay. Back to the game. We have been expecting you, madam. Pray take your ease inside, and I shall summon the others.
Have faith, my friend. You need only state your case with confidence and clarity.
Commander Leveilleur, it is both an honor and a pleasure to meet you. I am Emmerich, Lord Commander of the Temple Knights.
Alphino Leveilleur, at your service. Your reputation precedes you, Sir Emmerich. I think we will find that we have much in common.
Speaking of reputations, yours towers over us all. Does it not?
It does indeed, Lord Commander.
I am not too proud to admit that I have followed your activities with an interest bordering on fascination. Full glad was I to learn that you would be joining us. Now then, shall we begin?
Sure, why not?
We know full well that the Garleans will return in force ere long. What is more, we have yet to achieve a lasting victory over the Primal Menace. The beast tribes continue to summon their gods, and each incarnation is stronger than the last. Ishgard is not immune to these threats. I must reiterate that it would behoove your nation to rejoin the Eorzean Alliance.
Once again, I must respectfully disagree.
On what grounds?
Despite their presence in Kurthus, the Ixal do not concern us. The territorial claims pertain to Gridanian lands, and it is the people of Gridania whom they harry. Consequently, the Holy See judges this to be a Gridanian affair, and Ishgard does not intervene in the internal affairs of other nations. Even were that not the case, our forces are wholly committed to the Dravanian conflict. We have not the knights to spare. As for the Garleans, we are not ignorant of history. We have observed the rise and expansion of the Empire, and we agree that it is only a matter of time before they resume their campaign in Eorzea.
Then surely it would be in our best interests to present a united front.
Mayhap one day, but not yet. Gaius van Belsar is dead, and the legion of conscripts he left behind lacks the will to fight. We think it highly unlikely that they will emerge from behind the walls of their castra for some time.
Forgive me, but if Ishgard's position has not changed, why did you agree to this meeting?
It was not only as a representative of Ishgard that I came here.
Is that so?
Pardon?
It is not within my power to change Ishgardian policy, regardless of my personal feelings. There is, however, one area in which I may exert a measure of influence. Concerns have been raised over the supplies House Fortin has offered to Revenant's Toll. These have led to calls for restrictions on the provision of aid to foreign powers. I can ensure that the shipments continue unabated.
Sir Emmerich, we would be in your debt.
No, you would not, for I require something in exchange. Of late, there has been a flurry of Dravanian activity, the purpose of which was not immediately clear. However, our astrologians have since observed alarming changes in the heavens. The dragon star waxes unnaturally bright, and there are whispers that it portends the resurrection of Midgard-Sorma.
The fallen guardian of Silvertear Falls? That's absurd.
Oh, really?
Full many times have I gazed upon the dragon's corpse still wound around the Agrius, and wondered how different our world might be if it yet lived to plague the skies. I do not know, and I do not wish to know, nor does any son of Ishgard. Yet the mere presence of Dravanian forces is not sufficient grounds to send knights to Mordona, whatever our astrologians say. As I told you before, we have not the forces to spare.
But we do. So you will intervene on our behalf if we agree to watch over the Keeper of the Lake.
Do you accept these terms?
I do. I will see that you are kept abreast of any developments. I regret that we could not come to a similar agreement on other matters, but I understand that you are not at liberty to make such decisions. Nevertheless, I hope that what we have accomplished here today will serve to demonstrate to your countrymen that we can work together towards a common goal. Mayhap one day we shall look back on this moment as the first step towards a united Eorzea.
Mayhap we shall, Commander.
What is the meaning of this?
The caravan, my lord. It's been attacked. It was Iceheart, my lord.
What? By the Fury? All our precautions were for naught?
Well, we'll just have to go deal with it. Simple as that. Oh, great. I gotta go sell some stuff and make some inventory space. Just a moment while we are shortly delayed. I'll repair gear while we're here as well. There we go. There we go, there we go, there we go. Recent developments have given Alpha No much to consider. Just when we were starting to make progress. To make matters worse, the caravan they spoke of was bound for Revenant's 12 of all places. Honestly, were I so inclined, I should think the gods were conspiring against us. Happily, however, I am not. I would know more of the attack. Let us speak with Lord Trotron and find out what he has learned. My sincerest apologies for the interruption, my friends, but the situation is such that we must act swiftly. If you would be so kind as to elaborate. Iceheart's heretics fell upon the caravan bound for Revenant's Toll as it was passing through Boulder Downs. 'Twas an ambush, swift and ruthless. In an instant, every knight was slain, every crate seized. Then, as quickly as they had appeared, they were gone. 'Twas an ambush. 'Twould be an impossible feat without knowledge of the route. Knowledge to which only a select few are privy, I presume. Quite, we can pursue that avenue of inquiry in due course. It seems to me that examining the scene of the ambush should be our first concern. Trails yet warm, we must act swiftly, as Lord Harchfront said, lest crucial evidence be lost. You have a knack for discerning hidden truths, Illusion. Why don't you go and inspect the ambush site in person? An excellent idea. Inform my men of your intent upon arrival, and they will gladly share their findings. And away we will go. Move along, adventurer. There's nothing for. And Lord forbid you speak with us, then you must be, beg your pardon, scion. As you can see, they left nary a crate behind. Tipped the wagon for good measure, even. Whole thing's a bit odd, if you ask me. It would have been easier to just steal it, though damn sight harder to conceal it, I'll allow. Reckon they came prepared, probably with wagons of their own hidden away off. But pay no heed to my ramblings. Absolute proof 'tis not but speculation. Might be as the squire receiving care at the observatory could tell you something more factual. That if he's awake, unlike myself, he was there during the attack. Not that his presence amounted to much. Started watching Arcane here today. I'm not sure. After what, I was like, I loved episode 1. I loved the two sisters. They were such interesting characters, and then they unfortunately split the two characters apart. And then it's just like, okay, I'm not as interested anymore. They were kind of cool together. Apart, not so much. You've come to ask about the attack, haven't you? We came upon them before the entrance to the Hall of the Seven Echoes. Pilgrims we marked them as, lost and ill-equipped for a journey further north. Our leader called out to them, and one stepped forward to answer. Slowly she approached, her silver hair flowing in the wind like melting snow. Just a young girl, I thought, some poor lost lamb in search of salvation. Our leader must have thought the same, else why would he let her draw so close? They exchanged some words I couldn't hear, and she leaned forward as if to kiss his cheek. And then he sighed and crumbled to the ground. I didn't know what had happened until I saw the snow turn red. And then there was red everywhere I looked. I tried to fight, but took a blow to the head, and by the time I came to, the others were dead, and the heretics were unloading the wagon. I couldn't. I mean, they'd have killed me, so I just lay still and listened. Iceheart's people spoke of deliverance and the resurrection. They spoke of Shiva. Ah, you've returned. What news have for us? Seems Lady Iceheart does not scruple to sully her hands with blood. Who is this Shiva the heretic spoke of? Have you not read a single line of the Incuritum, Master Alphino? She was a traitor to kith and kin, an apostate who laid down with dragons. Now, we cannot expect all foreigners to know Ishgardian scripture so well, particularly when it concerns the patron saints of heretics. Wait, you say she is the patron saint? Oh no, it all makes sense now. What was the caravan's cargo? If I recall correctly, the Diamond Forge had requested a rather large quantity of crystals. Do you not see? Iceheart and her followers intend to summon Shiva as a beast tribe would a primal. Why else would they go to such lengths to secure crystals? I shall inform the Lord Commander at once. Lord Hutront, you would agree that discretion is of paramount concern. Of course. I trust we can count on your continued support, Master Alphino. The Scions of Seventh Dawn are sworn to combat the primal threat. Our support is given. I will need to send word to my brethren in Revenant Soul. Our entire order must turn its efforts to the prevention of this summoning. Naturally, that includes you, though I'm sure you would not miss this for the world. Okay. Woe betide the heretic who crosses off no Lavallee, for they shall feel the full force of his fury. The persistent attacks on our caravan seemed a little more than a nuisance at first. The heretics were a problem, to be sure, but a relatively minor one. That was before I discerned the purpose behind their attacks, of course. Now they have my undivided attention. After apprising Menphilia of the situation, I shall summon a unit of Crystal Braves to assist us. As for you, Lucian, pray join me and right in front. Since the incident at Snowcloak, the Knights of the House Durandar have redoubled their reconnaissance efforts in the region. It is my hope that they have information which may help us determine precisely where the heretics are hiding. Given our mutual enemy, the Lord Drillmont should be eager to oblige us. I shall see you there then. Good. Why'd I hit that? That's not what I wanted to hit. This is what I wanted to hit. The Sons of Seven Dawn wish to join in the hunt for Iceheart. Your assistance is more than welcome, my friends. Concerning the report I just received, I dare say your timing could be no better. We are all ears, Lord Drillmont. A band of pilgrims was seen transporting a large number of crates to the west. Their garb appears to match the description provided by the squire who survived the attack. Alas, our scouts lost track of them at Snowcloak, that self-same frozen wall, which we speculate might conceal the heretics' wide way. Suffice to say, the disappearance of these pilgrims and their provisions all but confirms our suspicions. I've heard enough. My knights will join the hunt. I took the liberty of summoning a unit of Crystal's Braves to White Brim Front. Given the gravity of the situation, I trust you will agree that we must use every resource available to us. These are extraordinary circumstances, Commander. It would be in our best interest to coordinate our efforts. Such was my intent from the start, Sir Imeric. And so begins, my friend, though I dare say it will prove an all too brief collaboration. Iceheart will now elude the combined forces of the Crystal Braves and the Temple Knights for long. Nevertheless, a wise man does not wager all upon the success of a single solution. There may yet be a subtler means by which we can locate the heretics' lair. Mayhap Lord Drillmont has one in mind. Yes, yes, excellent. My lady, everything has been accounted for. If there is aught else you would have us do, pray speak, and it shall be done. Only the naive place of all their hope in the success of a single solution, Lord Dremont, is anything but. It seems as though you are always one step behind our quarry, ever just beyond our reach. Though I would like to believe that the tables are placed about to turn, I must confess to having certain doubts. A joint effort may succeed where others have failed, but it could yet yield the self-same result. Fortunately, we are not without our other options. I trust you haven't forgotten Inquisitor Galaim. We have not. The mystery of how the heretic remained undiscovered for so long has been much in our thoughts, as has the question of what steps might be taken to prevent a similar breach of security in future. Accordingly, we conducted an exhaustive and covert evaluation of everyone in Whitebrim Front. Though some were found to have committed certain minor transgressions, we identified only one possible heretic. If this man has pledged himself to Iceheart's cause, he will have taken note of the movements of the Temple Knights and Crystal Braves, and upon recognizing their intent, he may attempt to warn the heretics. The man's watch is to end soon, at which point he must report to Sir Jean Tremeau in the yard, and I would have you keep an eye on him. If he ventures beyond the walls, follow him discreetly. Should he meet with a heretic, do not interfere, simply watch and listen. I have seen to it that the suspect knows nothing which could endanger our plans. Very disappointed. Yep, I got gold. There we go. I was not going to do that as a melee class. Fuck that shit. Oh yeah, it's time for a fight. Let's see here. There we go. Your sole duty is to the bloody echo. Lower your voice for they'll hear us and wipe from front. Yes, of course, the Temple Knights are in Snowcloak. This is what you bring to me? We already knew that about our comrades in Boulder Towns will use the tunnels. Doubt they knew what's happening. Nevertheless, if you waste my time again, is that clear? Actually, wait. Landing on the roof is probably the fastest way to get to where I wanted to go. Well, did your investigation bear fruit? I see. I shall have the man detained at once. His guilt is plain. Would that you could have heard their words more clearly. Yet the few snatches you were able to make out are nonetheless enlightening. It would seem the heretics are aware of our operation and confident that they can thwart it. Their comrades in Boulder Downs are key to their plans, which means it is key to our plans and that they be rooted out and put to the sword. The Allied forces at Snowcloak are in danger, and Lord Drummond would have you assist them in ensuring their safety. We have long suspected that the heretics use a network of secret tunnels to traverse the highlands undetected. Given what you overheard, I fear that Snowcloak may be riddled with such passageways, and that the heretics in Boulder Downs are planning to use them to take our forces unawares. Needless to say, we cannot allow that to happen. A contingent of House Durandar Knights are on patrol in the area, and I shall order them to begin searching for the heretics at once. But knowing nothing of our enemies' numbers or readiness, I cannot say for sure that they will be sufficient. It would put my mind to ease if you would consent to assist my knights with the search. I know they would take courage from the presence of so storied a warrior. Pray rendezvous with them at Boulder Downs. If Halone is kind, we may catch these heretics before their plans come to fruition. Show them no mercy. The lives of our allies are at stake. Fallen heretics effects. Sadly, as cool as this spot looks, they really don't feel like talk to or do much of anything with that area, if I remember correctly. There's a few quests that you show up there, but nothing really yee-haw. My knights send no word of your coming. What has happened? What is that in your hand? There it goes. By the Fury, those were veterans with years of service. And now they lie dead in the snow. Their bodies must be recovered and... No, we have not the men to spare. Not now, not while Isaac prepares to summon an abomination. The heretics you dispatched were not of sufficient number to contend with the combined strength of the Temple Knights and the Crystal Braves. There must be others, and I'll wager they are on their way to Snowcloak as we speak. To make matters worse, it seems the traitor you followed managed to pass the heretics something of value after all. The parchment you recovered is a timetable the guardsman watches at our post in Snowcloak. The traitor was stationed there for long before he aroused our suspicions that we had caught him sooner. With this information, the heretics would know when the watch was weakest. They could use their tunnels with impunity and prepare their ambush. The timetable has not changed, you see. Of course it will be changed now, but the heretics may already be in position. We must send reinforcements, even if it means withdrawing knights from the stone vigil. I can see no other way to safeguard the lives of our allies. Lord Drummond recognizes that the situation in Snowcloak is coming to a head, and that decisive action must be taken. Time is of the essence, Illusion. While my knights may make ready to depart, the heretics may take our allies in Snowcloak unawares. Superior training equipment will avail them not if they are cut down ere their swords are drawn, but all is not yet lost. If you leave now, there may still be time to warn them. Make haste, I beseech you. Fly to Snowcloak and tell Sir Imeric everything we have discovered. Illusion, this is a welcome surprise. Perhaps the only one thus far. As you can see, we have yet to uncover any hidden. You have my gratitude. To be told, we suspect that the heretics might be plotting such an attack. Now that we have confirmation, I shall place my knights on high alert. Expander, been informed, the braves must be made aware. Must be here, I am certain of it. Why else would they go to such lengths to defend Snowcloak? 'Tis but a pity this discovery comes when our enemy has us at such a disadvantage. Forewarned though we may be, the heretics know the terrain far better than we. I dare not think how many are watching us at this very moment. Confound it, this is all wrong. Icehart has us scrambling to save our own skins. When we should rightly be straining every sinew to find her and stop this damnable summoning. There she is. Come here, girl. Well... that was close. They didn't hurt you, did they? Only my pride, Ida. There will be others nearby. We must see that they are given similarly warm welcome. Commander! There's been a development, sir. Together with the Temple Knights, we have secured the entrances to some half-dozen tunnels. After spotting the enemy breaking the surface, but that's not all, sir. We think that one of them may be important. Certainly the heretics near flung themselves upon our swords to defend it. Aha, just as I suspected. Amongst this warm tunnels lie the entrance to Iceheart's lair. Some of the others were going in. I'd opened a browser tab and was like, oh, well, the website you just went to wants to use your camera. Here, let me ask if you want to let it or not. Much less what is waiting for us there. Furthermore, we have no way of knowing how many heretics are still lurking here on the surface. What if they were to converge on this point after we entered the tunnel? For all we know, we'd be funneling our forces into a trap. I mean, that is always a possibility. I take your point. The tunnel is indeed as narrow as you say. Greater numbers would be more hindrance than help. Should we encounter difficulty, our own allies would become an obstacle to escape. Ahem, a change of plans while we rendezvous with Sir Americ and keep the heretics at bay here. You'll go wherever that tunnel leads. If you find Ice Heart at the end of it, do not let her escape. You venture into the unknown to see that you are prepared for anything. I suggest you call upon your allies, so not too many, or Mommy will sulk. The entrance to the tunnel, madam, is just over here. Had we not seen the heretics breaking the stairs, we would never have noticed it. Per Sir Americ's orders, we will stand guard outside. Please be aware that even should you encounter significant resistance, we cannot leave our post. Well, now that we're waiting on a queue. I mean, it's here, it's right around the right level, so, I mean, why not? Cool, got a couple levels out of that. Oh, well. That popped a lot quicker than I was actually expecting. A long time since we've done dungeon here on stream. God, it's been so long since I've done this though, I don't remember anything about this dungeon. So it's cool to finally hear the music for it. Reminds me a lot of Secret of Mana music. There we go. Never mind any of that. A harder version of this at one point? I almost think they did. I just don't remember. Yeah, I swear they did, because... Oh. Okay. Like I said, it's been a long since I've done this, so I don't really remember this fight very well. do that fight here in just a moment. Actually, this music could almost be Stardew. Being 100% honest. There we go. There we go. Dun, 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 dun.
The tales do not do you justice, warrior of light. Yes, I know who you are, and you know who I am. I was given the name Izel, but I earned the name Iceheart. This endless cycle of hatred, of bloodshed, of sorrow. You would see it continue, O noble warrior of light. I would not. I will not. I will bring an end to this war between dragon and man, no matter the cost. In time, you will come to understand that what we do for the greater good. For Eorzea, for Hydaelyn.
Fort to Alphino. That took longer than I expected. What news? So Iceheart is but a pseudonym, not that it matters. That she managed to escape is regrettable, but from your description of the beast, you did well to come as you did. In any case, now that you have cleared a path, the Temple Knights can begin the survey the tunnels in earnest. Mayhap they'll even find a route past the ice wall. Wouldn't that do wonders for their fight against the heretics? The Crystal Braves would certainly share the credit for it too. 12 be praised. You may yet turn this situation to our advantage. Assuming we start by Iceheart before she summons Shiva, of course. Needless to say, our fellow scions have not been idle. Menphilia and Oranger have been busy perusing the archives of House Fortums, gathering what information they can on Shiva. Which reminds me, if you are intending to trudge back to Camp Dragonhead to report on the day's events, don't. The antecedent should be here any minute. I can only assume some people enjoy subjecting themselves to this cold. I mean, I would be one of those people who enjoy subjecting themselves to that cold. Though not given to small talk, Alphino can think of no better way to pass the time until Menphilia arrives. Antecedent came to us straight from the archives of House Fortums. I trust your time there proved fruitful? Would that it had, Oranger, had I scoured countless texts, but what we found was of questionable veracity. Accounts of Shiva's life and deeds are sparse and contradictory, only agreeing upon one point. She lay down with the dragon, the gravest of all sins according to the Ishgardian faith. Yet in the eyes of Iceheart's followers, this was a holy act, the blessed union of man and dragon. How such a thing could even be possible is quite another question. Suffice to say, I very much doubt that we will find a useful answer in the archives of House Vortemps. Much knowledge has been lost over the centuries, though in this case, one wonders if it is by circumstance or design. You said that Iceheart took a moment to plead her case prior to escaping, did you not? Viewed without prejudice, most would agree that bringing an end to an endless war serves the greater good. I think Sir Americ might take issue with her methods. I do not care if a few stragglers manage to escape. Until the sappers confirm that a tunnel is safe, the men are not to search it. Yes, Lord Commander. You received foes with less zeal than I had expected, Sir Imeric. Lest you misunderstand, I do not deny that our enemy has given us good reason to be prudent. I merely meant, you being a man of faith, that I had expected a certain single-mindedness. After all, it was not by the will of alone that your ancestors came to this land. Why they took up arms against the Gervanians? What would they have done in your position, I wonder? There are those who believe that faith is a renunciation of free will, that unquestioning devotion is required of all who would live a life in service to the Fury. Such righteous fervor may well serve a knight on the front line, less so a leader of men. We are all at liberty to interpret the scriptures as we will. I choose to believe that the Fury would value the lives of her followers over the deaths of her enemies. But I would not presume to speak for the Knights of Eld. 'Twas a different time, nay, a different era, and scripture tells us only so much. Would that it would have told us more. That man is awfully pragmatic for a servant of the Holy See. A welcome treat at the negotiating table, to be sure, less so when one's enemies are making ready to harness the power of a god. Mayhap he does not truly believe that Iceheart's plan can succeed. Truth be told, I too remain somewhat skeptical. Shiva was a real living, breathing woman, of that there can be no doubt. In this respect she differs from every other figure to have summoned, each of whom was worshipped as a god. The sole exception being good King Mungumog XII, the myth made manifest in response to the fervent supplication of the Mughals Guard. Saint Shiva may differ, but what of the heretics? They are a tribe of outcasts at war with a mighty nation, who yearn for the resurrection of the one who embodies their beliefs. If that is not placing one's faith in the higher power, then what is? Crystals and conviction, Menphilia, they have both been in abundance. Can that truly be all that is required? My survey team has concluded a preliminary analysis of the Aetherite Iceheart used to escape. They believe that she teleported to another Aetherite somewhere near, not far to the west. Despite the apparent proximity of this second Aetherite, however, they seem to have been wholly unable to detect its presence directly. Unless Iceheart has some means to mask its signal, I can only presume that she had to destroy it to prevent us from following her. Without the means to teleport as she did, we have no choice but to search for an alternate route, most likely a tunnel, assuming one exists. Let us not give up on teleportation just yet. One of our colleagues in Charlayan may be able to assist us. I pray that you are right. I dare not think how long it will take us to survey the entire tunnel system. While Menphilia looks into our Aetherite problem, I would like to request your assistance with another matter. The 3rd unit is currently tracking the remnants of the heretic force which attacked us. However, the search goes poorly, despite our numbers. Coerthus is vast, and Iceheart's followers know the terrain far better than we. Your knowledge of this region may serve to hasten the process. The sooner we capture Iceheart's followers, the sooner we can press them for their lady's whereabouts. Also, though it is admittedly a selfish request, I feel that my braves would benefit immensely from working alongside you. While we have our share of veterans, we also have more than a few less experienced recruits, many of whom look up to you in case you were not aware. Good, I knew you would understand. Yuhase can apprise you of the details. When the task is complete, come and find me at the observatorium. Captain Elbar and I are meeting there to discuss the latest developments in this investigation. The Timble Knights shall hold Snowcloak in your absence. Let us leave them to their work. Ours is more pressing. Oh wait, I'm not even going very far. I'm just going right over here. There you are. Instruct me to wait for you. Your assistance is most welcome, believe me. Most of the 3rd hail from Old Unna, and for a man accustomed to the feel of sand beneath his boots, the crunch of snow can be rather disconcerting. But to the matter at hand, nary a moment ago I received word that the heretics we seek have been spotted making for Danafin Pass. My braves are already in pursuit, and I should be grateful if you would join them. I myself shall be taking part in the hunt, never let it be said that I do not earn my coin. I passed where I was supposed to go. Those balls, my ankles was on fire. Caught my boot on a rock or something and twisted it as I fell. The others went on ahead through Danafin Pass. Hurry and you might catch up. If you aren't sure where to go, look for tracks. The snow is fresh, so they shouldn't be hard to find. Southeast. So southeast we go. What are you doing here? The heretics, I'm not sure. They were just scaled beasts, and I think he went east on his own. The heretics split up, so we did too. How embarrassing. I was so intent on following the heretic's tracks that I almost failed to notice that they had doubled back. Almost, mind you. One tried to single behind me and got a knife in the gut for his troubles. I thought myself alone, so I started searching the dead man's knapsack for anything of interest, and lo and behold, more for his friends found me. I came upon this. Withdrawing groups of 3 or less to the observatorium, give the signal and wait. The merchant will be watching, be late, and be left for dead. Speaks for itself, does it not? They can't possibly mean to rendezvous inside the place, so we should restrict our search to the surrounding areas. Let me rephrase that. You should restrict your search to the wilderness around the observatorium. I will need more than a moment's rest to recover from these wounds. I am through with listening to your excuses. We leave now. How? The woods are crawling with those blue coats, and the knights are searching every wagon that passes through the gates. Well, stay with her then if you think you'll fare any better. Now, there's no need for that. There are places like this in my homeland, sacred snow-capped peaks where blood must not be shed. Yeah, your land's thirst for the blood of the fallen, and by your deeds it has drunk deep. No, I have done no wrong. None but meet in secret with heretics. Deny it all you will. We shall have the truth from you yet. Inquisitors are not the only ones skilled in the art of interrogation. Damn it all. Fancy meeting you here, Lucian. I presume your work with Third brought you hither? What a tangled web. Lest you wonder, we came not for the heretics, but for the merchant who's been conspiring with them. He came to our attention during the course of our investigation into the Ivy. It beggars belief, I know. But it seems our favorite girling spy may have been providing assistance to Iceheart. Were it not for the efforts of Lady Ugiri and her shinobi, we might never have discovered this connection. Master of knows too kind. I fear my people and I have done little to aid your search for this spy. We long to strike back against the Empire and weaken their influence in this land, to prevent the tragedy which befell Doma from reoccurring. The days ahead and the work they promise will require a very particular set of skills which I am fortunate enough to possess. If you allow it, I would accompany you until the investigation is complete. That is a most generous offer, Lady Ugiri, and one which I gladly accept. Thank you. Though I may disappear for a time, know that I will never be far and shall always be watching. A comforting thought. Come, let us wait inside for Captain Elbert to return and deliver his report. Captain Elbert seemed confident that the merchant's resolve would swiftly crumble when pressed. If so, we should have new information ere long. As to whether it will bring us any closer to learning the Ivy's identity, I'd rather not say. Given our adversary's cunning, I shall consider us fortunate if we are spared another wild dodo chase. The gods know we have more than enough to occupy time as it is. Is eager to hear Elbert's report on the Ivy. Captain Ilbrid, your report, if you will? Aye, Commander. Firstly, with regard to the Hattech we captured, I regret to say that the man could tell us not that we didn't already know of Shiva. We have since handed him over to the Ishgardian authorities. Henceforth, the Holy See will pursue the matter independently. Our inquiries concerning the Ivy, however, have proven more fruitful. We have ascertained the channel by which the heretics acquired their information on the shipment routes. Go on. You will recall the flame we first identified as being in the Ivy's employ. From him, we were able to trace a trail of conspirators, each taking us closer to his master. Alas, the trail came to an abrupt end. Fearing that the investigation had been compromised, we took the necessary steps of detaining all suspected of conspiracy. There are 5 on our list, including a flame stationed at Revenant's Toll. The man's primary duty was to keep an inventory of donations from abroad, the particulars of which he would share with benefactors, thereby ensuring that needs did not go unfulfilled. By virtue of his role, he was privy to the details of all shipments bound for their settlement. Needless to say, that include those originating from House Fortemps. He knew the precise route the caravan would take, and he sold that information to a merchant. I think I can guess which one. None other. With a little encouragement, he soon confessed to knowingly aiding and abetting the heretics. Well, that is one mystery solved at least, but what of the Ivy? Are we any closer to prizing off his mask? I dare say we are, Commander. Our relentless pursuit has forced him to commit a grave error. In a desperate bid to cover his tracks, the Ivy resorted to exercising a certain administrative powers, but only to high-ranking members of the Immortal Flames. If you consider, then, that our investigation is known to barely a handful of them, the field of suspects is greatly narrowed. You mean to say that the agent is among Raban's innermost circles, someone who has been with him since the Immortal Flames establishment? It is a most plausible explanation. The infiltration likely occurred during the company's founding, with the groundwork for the act being laid beforehand. To slip into a position of authority unremarked and remain above suspicion all these years. I too was surprised, though I really should not have been. Of the 3 grand companies, Ulda was ever the most vulnerable to infiltration. Both Limsa and Gridania has long-standing armed forces that lent themselves well to the information of the Maelstrom and the Twin Adder. To all intents and purposes, it was the same people, loyal ones mined under the same leadership, only the banner was different. Not so the Flames. Ulda's military was made up of desperate orders, most of which were glorified mercenary companies that answered only to their own paymasters. Hardly an ideal government in which to establish something as high-minded as a grand company. The difficulties Raban faced when founding the Immortal Flames are well known. Even after he had convinced his fellow syndicate members to share the cost, there remained the small matter of finding enough bodies to fill the ranks. Indeed, and given the pressing nature of the Imperial threat, that meant recruiting ever-passing sellsword. Amidst the chaos of its founding, it would have been child's play to infiltrate the company. A good deal easier than now I. The Immortal Flames have ever been caught between conflicting interests of the public and the private. Though the Montaris ultimately agreed to support the organization's founding, 'twas not out of charity that they did so, but simple self-preservation. Had Null Van Darnus' ambition been any less apocalyptic, you may be sure that they would never have risked supplying Raban with an army. 'Tis but a wonder they did not attempt to extinguish the flames the moment the danger had passed. Returning to the present, even this week our Doman allies are shouting several high-ranking flames, any one of whom could be the Ivy. Desiring to deal a blow against the Empire, the refugees were eager to lend us their aid. I expect to hear from them ere long. Very good. Pray continue your investigation with the first. Meanwhile, how the second tend to the unrest, the third can join the fourth in inspecting Christmas shipments. If they notice anything unusual, I want to know about it. If Shiva is summoned in the manner of the other primals, the heretics will be looking for further supplies. Understood. I shall send word to Sir Imeric, informing him of our success in identifying the heretics' abettors. Hopefully the information will be of some use to the Ishgardians. It is time, Commander. Yes, I am aware. An emergency council alliance leadership has been called. There have been developments in Garlemald, it would seem. As Commander of the Crystal Berries, my presence has been requested. I would have you accompany me As the realm's stoutest champion, 'tis only meet that we can present for the discussion. Oh, and the antecedent has already given her consent, lest you worry. Like me, you are doubtless eager to conclude our business with Iceheart, but until another path to her sanctum is found, she will remain beyond our reach. And feeling and their accounts are sparing no effort to secure an alternate route until such time as they succeed, I suggest we give them some thought to the realm's other problems. I shall go on ahead to Gridania in readiness for the coming council. Meet me at Nafka's altar, and we shall make our way to the Lotus Stand together. That's what I get for trying to multitask. My thanks for coming. When you're ready to speak with the contrary yonder, he will show us to the Lotus Stand. What was the entire point behind that conversation? That made no sense whatsoever. There was no need for that. Okay. The Alliance leaders await you at the Lotus Stand. Will you be joining them now? I most certainly will be.
Change has come to the Garlean Empire, and we must discuss the implications.
The rumors are true, then? The War of Succession is ended?
It is. A new emperor reigns in Garlemald.
Who?
Does it really matter who? I don't think it really does.
The birth and all too rapid expansion of the Garlean Empire is commonly attributed to the strategic brilliance of Solus Zosgalvis, yet he did not rule alone. Several members of the royal household also distinguished themselves during his reign. Nevertheless, it was the eldest son who stood to inherit the throne, until his most untimely passing.
I thought us fortunate when I learned that the Emperor had died without naming a successor.
Would that the Garlean Empire had died with him.
Power unfortunately abhors a vacancy.
'Twas the grandson and his uncle who had the strongest claims, was it not?
Indeed, yet claims count for little without the power to assert them. High Legatus Varus Ye Galvus is a respected military leader. Not so his uncle.
So young Varus has torn the crown from his uncle's grasp and taken his place at the head of the Empire.
Given the troubled nature of his succession, the new emperor will require time to seal his grip on power. Yet have no doubt but that he shall, for there are none left with strength enough to oppose him.
Since the success of Operation Archon, the remnants of the 14th Legion and the forces occupying Alamigo have done naught but fortify their positions. But you can be sure they'll be ready to march on us again, if their Emperor gives the word.
When, not if. They say this Varus was so set upon Eorzean annexation that he spoke out against the Meteor Project.
Plainly, the new emperor's intentions are of great concern to us all. I propose that we set aside the Cartno dispute for the present, and discuss what measures the Alliance might take to prepare for a resumption of hostilities with Garlemald. Moreover, I move that we re-examine the question of how our former allies in Ishgard might be persuaded to retake their place at our side. Could Eorzea but stand as one, 'twould deal a grave blow to our enemies' ambitions.
Well, I suppose we should be grateful that they have finally acknowledged the inevitability of Imperial attack. Who knows? They may even do something about it. If only the leaders of Ishgard would follow their example and stop hiding behind their gates, praying for the coming storm to pass them by. But that is a discussion for another time. At present, I am more concerned by the fact that the Alliance's mooted preparations will be made known to the Garleans many moons before their coming. So long as the ivy eludes our grasp, no secret is safe.
Okay, let's finish up this quest here. Will now have escaped your notice that the nations of yours are no nearer to being of one purpose. Despite their protestations to the contrary, plainly the threat of our resurgent Carlomal was not enough to stir them. And the reason for this? Deep-rooted mistrust among the citizenry. The nation's leaders can come to all the understandings they like, but their unity means little unless to the common folk. Take the Lamensons, for instance. Though Admiral Marweb outlawed piracy over a decade ago, foreigners still picture the nation as a haven for grog-swilling, wooden-legged cutthroats. And likewise, the Gridanians are marked as hermits who talk to trees, and the old ones scorned as swindlers who worship coin. Not that such sentiments are entirely without grounds, of course. Take the pillar of olden society to Adeleji, for example, but that is besides the point. The fact is that people are wary of outsiders, whether they have cause to be or not. On that basis, one could argue that the conflict in Cartano is a necessary evil. Each nation has its own warmongering faction that advocates the acquisition of Omega. In order to placate them, we present them something resembling warfare and thereby curb their appetite for full-scale conflict. But enough idle musing, let us speak of a more pressing matter, the Ivy. Since we spoke at the observatorium, Captain Ilbert has further shortened his list of suspects, and by happy coincidence, the one he deems the most likely candidate has lately come to Gridania. The hunt nears its end, Illusion. All that remains is to corner our quarry. Seek out Ilbert near the Adder's Nest, he'll give you the particulars. Should there be any developments in Querthus, you may be sure that I will send word without delay. In the meantime, I wish you success in apprehending the Ivy. Wrong way. Why, thanks for coming, son. Doubtless the commander's informed you, but we have unmasked the Ivy. From this point on, we must proceed with extreme caution. And that's where we'll start up next time we play this. Till then, I hope you all have one for the rest of your night.